Rajeshwari MJ. She pursued her BE in Electrical and Electronics at the People's Education Society College of Engineering, Mandya. She pursued her MTech in VLSI Design and Embedded Systems at the Sri Jagadguru Balagangadharanta Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Her personal skills lie in good verbal and written communication skills. Her areas of interest lie in OOPS with C++, renewable energy sources, HVDC transmission, digital relays, automotive electronics, advances in VLSI design. She has also had papers presented at the national level, such as the Innovative Architecture for SoC Multi-Core Hybrid Processor, presented at the RNSIT, Bangalore.
Welcome to UGC lecture series of BSc Physics Honours. Today we are dealing with the subject electronic devices. In this session we are going to concentrate on semiconductor diodes. So far we studied about its characteristics and how the electrons and holes will be moved when the P type and N type semiconductors are come into together. Everything we discussed, and also we discussed about the DC resistance and AC resistance. Now we are going to derive some of the equation that is relevant to the PN junction. Contents that we are going to discuss in this session are derivations for mathematical equations for barrier potential and also the barrier width for a step junction. So we are going to derive an equation for barrier potential, that is a built-in potential, and also the barrier width for considering the step junction. So, and also we are going to discuss about ideal diode and practical diode, and lastly we are going to discuss about load line analysis of diodes. So, very first thing we need to refresh the once again the basic structure of PN junction here before deriving the built-in potential. So, here the interface separating the N and P regions is referred as the metallurgical junction. For simplicity, that we are consider for the derivation as a step junction. This is a metallurgical junction, that is when the P and N type material is come into contact, this is called as a metallurgical junction. So, this metallurgical junction that is what we consider here is in a step junction, that is step junction in the sense in the metallurgical junction, considering the step junction in the sense here ND and Na only presence will be having of more number compared to N and P, that is electrons and holes, that is having a donor concentration and acceptor ion concentration will be more and compared to the electron and holes concentration. So, we can neglect the holes and electron concentration in this step junction, and also we can observe in the figure when a simplified geometry of a PN junction and a depositing profile of an ideal uniformly doped PN junction can be observed in the figure picture B, where we can find the diffusion of hole and electron. So, electron we already know it is diffuses from N region to P region and hole is diffused from P region to N region. So, this is where the distance x is equal to 0. This x is represent the barrier width. Before the formation of barrier, it is like this, the diffusion will be takes place. This is a ND Na and this is a ND. The acceptor atom that is represent in the Na that is considered here throughout for the derivation will be higher compared to the ND, that is number of donor concentration is lesser and number of acceptor concentration is higher. And also the space charge region, the space charge region is nothing but the barrier or barrier width, that is a barrier width also called as space charge region is depleted of any mobile charge is also referred to as depletion region. So, once the depletion barrier is formed, means there be the electrons and the atoms, that is the donor atoms and acceptor atoms present in the junction is immobile, it does not have any motion inside. That is why it is called as depletion region in the PN junction. That part is always as a PN junction will be a depleted part surrounding the other region. And in thermal equilibrium, the diffusion force and the electric field exactly balance each other. So, we know the electrons moves and holes moves across the PN junction before this depletion air forms. Due to the equilibrium, that both the force that electron force and the electric field, that the diffusion of that what we can observe here with this picture, which is going to give us a clear picture. This is what the acceptor atom concentration, it is formed in the p region, and donor positive charge concentration that is formed on the n region. This is totally is called the barrier width or space charge region, and here in the p-n junction, the space charge region, electric field will be in this direction, but due to the diffusion force on holes, that the force and the diffusion force on electrons will be in this two different direction, and the electric field inside this is totally in this direction. So, this cancels and this cancels. So, totally we can say here it is in a equilibrium condition. So, these are the some of the basic concepts that we need to know for the derivations. So, next we move on to the derivation of built-in potential barrier. So, built-in potential barrier is a voltage, that is a potential difference that occurs across the depletion region. So, the depletion region of a p-n junction will have a potential difference. So, this can be observed with the help of this picture very clearly. So, we already know that the P or the Na will be always higher than the Nd that we consider. Since the Na is higher, the electrons, this N type region will be going to move to the P region and the holes will move to here. So, due to the diffusion process it occurs, and also the electric field in P and N, it is flattened. This indicates it is having electric field. There is no change in electric field, no change in electric field, there will be no potential difference. So, potential is only considered when there is a change in voltage or change in potential, and that too we considered with specifically 2 points. If required, then only we will get the potential. So, there will be 0 here, and if we consider in this region where it is a junction. So, this is a junction, this in junction we can find that the junction will be where there is a band of energy band, that is a conduction band, and valence band will be occur. This will going to indicate there is existence of field. The field will be present in the junction, that has to be a built-in potential, that is the built-in potential that can be occurred across the p-n junction. And also one more thing that we need to observe this in the energy band diagram is about the energy bands is formed. So, we need to separately study again the p and n type energy band here. So, in p type we already know the Fermi level, the Fermi energy band will be always present near the valence band. So, this is present near the valence band, and in n type the Fermi level always present near the conduction band. This is also near conduction band, and this EFI represent the Fermi intrinsic carrier level. So, this is intrinsic carrier level. So, Fermi intrinsic carrier level, this is exactly in the middle of the conduction, and it is bent across the p-n junction. So, and this QFN is a potential that can be found for n type region, that is a difference of EFI minus EF. Minus EF is what's the potential that can be occurred across the n region, and also the potential that present in p region, that is Q phi FP, that will represent the potential that occurs in p region, and that having a difference is EFI minus EF is what that going to give the potential in the p region. So, considering all these assumptions and the step junction, we are going to derive the built-in potential barrier. Very first thing, the built-in potential in thermal equilibrium equation that we are going to write here. So, the built-in potential VBI is what? The built-in potential that is equal to phi of Fn, that is potential in the n region plus potential in p region. It is represented in modulus, and this is taken as equation 1. Now, the electron concentration in n region is given by n region. What is the electron concentration in n region? That is we can derive as N naught is equal to Nt, which is equal to Ni. Na is the carrier concentration, intrinsic carrier concentration, into EF minus EF divided by KT. So, this is equation 2. This gives the concentration of carrier electron concentration in N region. Now, where Nd here represent the donor concentration, and also we can define the potential in N region, that is Q. This is what the potential in N region, that can be represented as Q into phi of Fn, that is equal to EFi minus EF. This is, we can observe from the figure, QFN is equal to EFi minus EF is what we get. This is equation 3, and here EFi is the intrinsic energy level and Ni is the intrinsic carrier concentration. And now we again move to the, we are going to substitute equation 3 in 2. So, we know the value of Q phi n here, Q phi n value, Q phi n is equal to EFi minus EF. So, EFi minus EF here, that we are going to substitute as a Q phi n. So, the above equations will be written as Nd is equal to Ni into e to the power of Q phi n divided by K T. This is what we get equation of donor concentration. This we can make it, I will call it as A for simply. And now we are going to taking a natural log for this A equation, and we are going to find the phi of Fn. After rearranging this, we will get an equation taking natural log and extracting phi Fn from the above equation. We will get this, we considered our equation 4. This is what the potential that we can found in a N region can be Q Fn, that is equal to K into T divided by Q, the ln of Nt divided by Ni is what the potential in a N region. Now, similarly, we need to find for the P region. Now, we are going to find for the P region. This is for N region. Now, we are going to find the potential in P region. So, whole concentration in P region can be equal to the acceptor concentration, that is equal to Ni, same that what we have written, and here it is difference, that is EFi minus EF, that whole divided by KT. So, this is where we have found it different. Here it is EF minus EFi, it is EFi minus EF. So, this is the concentration of holes in a P region. Now, we are going to find the potential in P region. So, similarly, we are going to find the potential in P region Q phi Fp, that is equal to EFi minus EF. Again, by substituting this value there, we will get this value here, we will get the equation of the potential in a P region, that is equal to phi Fp is equal to KT divided by Q ln of Na divided by Ni. So, this can be written as equation 6. So, we know the value of potential in P and also value of in P region and also value of potential in N region. So, now it is very easy, we are going to substitute the equation 4 and as well as equation 6 in equation 1. So, we will get the VBI, that is built in potential. Built in potential VBI is equal to KT divided by Q ln of Na Nd divided by Ni square. So, this can also be rewritten as VBI, is equal to V t. This whole term can be written as V t ln of N A into N D divided by N I square. So, this is the equation. This is the equation for built-in potential, and from the equation we come to the conclusion that whenever the built-in potential is slightly changes due to the doping concentration, that is the donor concentration. Due to the donor concentration is with the ln function, the donor concentration is varies in orders, it does not affect much for the built-in potential because it is in logarithmic term. So, this is the VBI is equal to Vt ln of Na into Nd divided by Ni square is the built-in potential. So, next we move on to barrier width or space charge width derivation. So, in this barrier width and space charge width, again we need to brush up the few things that we already considered about barrier width is between the distance of a P and depletion region. The distance of the depletion region is the barrier width. So, here with the help of picture we can observe this is the space charge region where we can find the Na and Nd concentration, and the same the force will remain same as we discussed previously. And here in this picture we can also observe the space charge density in a uniformly doped p-n junction, assuming the abrupt junction approximation. So, abrupt junction in the sense that is what the we have assumed here for the derivation of barrier width. Abrupt junction in the sense in this junction, in the p-n junction, the amount of Na and amount of Nd will be more. If we consider in the P region, there will be Nd is 0, Nd will be completely 0, and in the N region Na will be completely 0. That is what we consider here, that is Na and Nd will be completely 0 in respective P and N region. So, now starts with the very first things that is under equilibrium we know that Q is equal to Nd, Xn is the distance of depletion region that present in N region, Q into Na, it is Xp, which can be rewritten as Nd Xn is equal to Nd Na into Xp. This can be considered as equation 1. Now, we also know that the Emax is a maximum potential that can be written as Q into Na into Xp divided by epsilon, and that is equal to Nd into X Q into Xn epsilon. So, again Vbi is equal to half of Emax into Xp plus half of Emax into Xn is what the built-in potential, that is from half of Emx Xp plus half of Emx Xn. So, again we can rewrite this Vbi is equal to half into Emax of Xp plus Xn. Here we can observe this Xp plus Xn, which is going to give the width. This will represent Xp plus Xn is the width, this is the barrier width. So, again we can substitute this Vbi, this can be considered as this can be rewritten again as with in terms of W is equal to half into Emax, this can be considered equation 2. So, now we can rewrite the from 1 we can rewrite this equation for getting the Xp value is equal to Nd divided by Na into Xn is what we get. So, therefore, we can rewrite this again for W value. So, W is equal to Nd divided by Na Xn plus Xn. So, this xp value we are going to substitute in a here with the W expression. So, W will be like this, and xn is what we can get from this in terms of W, that is Na divided by Na plus Nd into W. So, this is equation 3. Now, we are going to similarly we are going to find xp, that is equal to Nd is the only change in the numerator, and remaining will be same. This is equation 4. Now, we are going to have the E max value. We already know that E max value we need to substitute in a equation 2. So, equation 2, that E max value will be going to substitute that E max value of xn with respect to xn, we are going to substitute in equation 2, that is Vbi divided by 1 by 2. We are going to substitute the E max value, that is into Q into Nd divided by epsilon into xn. This is the equation 5. So, substitute the xn value is also known. We are going to substitute the xn value here. So, Vbi now becomes 1 by 2 W divided by Q into Nd divided by epsilon Na divided by Na plus Nd W. This is Vbi in terms of when we are going to speak about Vbi, and also Vbi, it now again it going to be written as Q Nd Na divided by epsilon Na plus Nd that is equal to W square. So, this is the W, and now we want the built in barrier width, that is space charge region width we have to find, that is the W value. So, we have to make sure the W value has to be come out from this equation. So, W value finally can be written as W is equal to 2 epsilon Vbi divided by Q into M1 by Nd plus 1 by Na power of 1 by 2. This is the barrier width expression that we can find from the expression. This is a barrier width expression, and here the barrier width is a reciprocal of a dopant concentration. That can be the inference from the expression that we found. As the concentration increases, the width decreases. It is a reciprocal, that is why as the concentration increases, the dopant or barrier concentration increases, the concentration of impurity increases, the width will be decreases. So, next we move on to the junction diode ideal characteristics. In the junction diode ideal characters, we are taking forward and reverse bias also. The ideal characteristics is consider the assumption that we made here is it is working perfectly, that is there is no unvarying any, it is not at all varying, and everything it is worked as a perfect diode. So, here forward bias condition, the voltage Vf, forward voltage will be 0. Even if the Vf is 0, we will get the current, that is If is equal to I bias divided by R limit is limit that what we taken, that R is a resistance that are connected in series with diode. And also in the reverse bias also IR is equal to 0, that is current will be 0 for IR, for VR is equal to V bias. If the voltage, that is reverse voltage is equal to bias voltage, some V bias voltage, then IR is equal to 0 is a condition for a ideal diode in reverse bias. And this is a ideal diode mode forward bias, it is perfectly a closed, forms a closed forming a switch closed, here switch is open, it is acting a perfect switch, and it is here it is closed and it is open, and the circuit here will be open, that is why no current is flowed in the reverse bias condition. here the circuit is closed. So, the IF current is flowed inside the circuit, and this is a ideal VI characteristics. For 0 volt also in the forward bias we are finding the forward current. So, similarly for the diode that we have practical characteristics will be it is not same, but as ideal characteristics where Vf is 0 there, but here Vf is 0.7 volts it is required. It is a minimum voltage, that is minimal forward voltage where we can get the current. When Vf is equal to 0.7 volt in the circuit, we will get the current, and the current can be found with the help of KCL, and that is If is equal to V bias minus Vf divided by R limit. And also the circuit will be in the reverse bias, which is open when IR is equal to 0 and VR is equal to V bias. Whenever VR is equal to V bias, it is same as what we have studied in the ideal diode, because here bias voltage or forward current voltage does not affect the reverse current. So, forward current and the voltage varying does not comes to the picture in a reverse bias condition. So, this is a characteristics of a practical diode where we find that points after 0.7 volt only we will get the current, that is IF current in the forward mode. So, next we move on to the load line analysis. Here the applied load will normally have an important impact on region of operation of a device. So, the load will always act as some will going to happen when we are connected the diode across the load. The load that we are going to consider here is a resistor for analysis purpose, and the load line analysis is in the such a way that when we are for the VI characteristics, when we are going to draw a load line also, the intersection of characteristics VI curve and the load line and the load analysis curve where intersection will going to form a load line analysis. So, the intersection of load line with the characteristics will determine the point of operation. So, and such an analysis is called as load line analysis. So, due to this load and characteristics intersection, we will get a point, that is a point of operation, that is also called as Q point or quiescent point. This point of operation will helps us for the load line analysis, and this for the circuit that we are consider that here is having a load for resistor R, and also this can be satisfied both at KVL and KCL. So, this is a curve that we can have the VI characteristics for diode, this is already we discussed, and for the load as a resistor, if we consider this is a characteristics VI characteristics for a resistor. It is crossed which is draw across VI, and also we can combine these curves on one plot, that is what the basic of load line analysis. When we are combined the load line characteristics and also the characteristics of a diode, there is a point of operation is found, that is a operating point is called as Q point here. This is the load line and this is the diode characteristics, this is the Q point or operating point, it is formed, and this has to be satisfied by both KVL and KCL. So, finally we come to the end of the session. In this session we derived two important expression, that is built-in potential expression and also the barrier width or the space charge region width expression. And also built-in potential does not vary with any change in the concentration of impurity, and here when it is comes to the width barrier width, it will going to it is a reciprocal of concentration of impurities. As a concentration increases, impurity concentration increases, the width decreases. So, and also we discussed about ideal and practical diode, which is having different characteristics. In ideal, for Vf is equal to 0 also, in forward bias we are going to find a current, but practical diode that too in forward bias, for Vf there should be a 0.7 minimal 0.7 volt, then only we will going to find a current. So, and also we find the interesting topic about load line analysis, which is made by the intersection of characteristics of diode and the load characteristics. There is a point of operation is formed due to which we can able to find the load line analysis, and this load line analysis is always obeys both KVL and KCL. So, some of the questions is derive the mathematical equation for barrier width of PN junction diode, differentiation between practical and ideal diode, what is load line analysis, explain in detail. Our references are www.allaboutcircuits.com, www.electronicstutorial.com, and the textbook references are Electronic Devices and Circuit Theory by Robert Boylestad and Louis Nashelski, Electronic Circuits and Devices by Alan Motorshed. This ends the session. Thank you.